back. If you are continuing with phase 2 of chair yoga, or if you are joining just to do part 2 of the chair yoga, we are doing the lower half of the body for this video. So we're using a regular chair, office or home chair. It could be one that you have in the kitchen or living room. If it's an office chair and it has wheels on it, please take a moment and lock those wheels if you can. If you can't, no worries. Maybe it would be safer to back up against a wall or something. Not to worry that we're going to be doing crazy postures, no headstands or handstands in the chair. So if you can't lock the wheels and you can't move back against a wall, that's fine. I'm sure you'll be okay, but there may be a few moments of aggravation where the chair maybe moves from side to side. So whichever way that you are going to be joining me for this little chair yoga practice where we're focusing on the lower half, then welcome. So there's a couple of different ways to sit in a chair when we're doing chair yoga. If you are in a chair that has a back like mine and you sort of lean back in it, that is going to be something you want to avoid for the practice. So you can either really snuggle yourself up to the back so that you're not leaning back so much, but maybe your low back is being supported by the bottom of the chair, of the back support, or you're welcome to kind of sit forward a little bit in the chair and give yourself a little bit of space for movement. The chair that I'm in does have armrests, so I use those a little bit, but sometimes we have to move forward to clear those armrests a little bit. If you don't have armrests on your chair, you won't need to do that, and you don't really actually need the armrests for any of the movements we'll be doing for the rest of this video. So let's get to it. If you are doing just part 2, then you may want to warm up a little bit. So let's all do that together and just inhale our arms up over our head, taking a gentle look up at the ceiling and exhaling, bringing the arms down and just letting the chin rest on the chest. And let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale and exhale. And one more, big inhale. And exhale. Let's sit up nice and tall in this chair as we move on towards movements for the lower half of the body. Make sure that your feet are nice and squarely set on the floor so that you can feel your ball of your foot under your big toe, then roll the feet out a little bit so you can feel the smaller ball of the foot on the other side, on the outside, under your little toe and your heels, and then lower the toes down and feel nice and secure, maybe feeling your sits bones as you sit in the chair, pressing into your seat and lifting the spine, making it nice and tall by pressing the top of your head towards the ceiling if you like. Great. So we're going to start with a forward fold, which is going to begin to do some nice stretching for the low back. So this is where a lot of folks have some discomfort, especially sitting for a long time. So this can be a really nice way to just relieve some of that stress and pressure. So we're going to inhale our arms up overhead, little gentle look up. And as we exhale, we're going to press our sits bones down into the chair, if you like, and then gently sort of fold over. Let the head hang and just relax here for a moment. Fingertips might be on the floor. If not, they can be resting near the ankles and really just pressing into the seat of that chair. And if you like, bringing some attention to your tailbone and just making sure that you're pressing that down into the chair. Now let's bring our hands to your ankles if you like and gently walk the legs up to the knees and then press yourself back up into a seated position. Great. Before we do that again, we're going to warm up the spine a little bit. I'm going to turn my chair so you can see that we're just going to make some C curves and U curves with the spine. So making the C curve is dropping the head and pressing the spine into the back of the chair. And then making a U curve is just going the opposite direction, opening the chest and looking up at the ceiling. So let's do just a few of those kind of quickly. You can attach some breath here with an inhale in the U curve shape and an exhale in the C curve shape, pulling the belly button back towards the spine. Maybe a few more of those just quickly. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Great. Alrighty. So back to our forward fold. So this time we're going to toe heel those feet so that they're a little wider, maybe the width of the chair. Maybe you want to come a little bit further out into the chair to give yourself a little space so that I'm not so restricted by my arm rests here. Arms out to the side, big inhale, planting those feet, and then exhaling. So we've made some space so that we can come down a little bit further in between those knees and let the head hang. Oh, I'm going to check and see if you can see me. So let's take a breath here and just give that low back an opportunity to stretch out. And then bring the hands to the ankles, and then the right hand comes up to the right knee, left hand comes up to the left knee, press into the thighs, and lift ourselves up again. Great. One more time. Big inhale. Look up, make that beautiful U curve with your spine. Exhale, hinging at the hips if you like, folding over, coming with me through the knees all the way down. And let's just rest here for a moment. Now we're going to pay attention to our hands if we like, and let's just sort of walk the hands over to the left foot and press the sits bones into the chair. Press your feet into the floor. Kind of find some traction in the feet in the floor and sort of press yourself back into your chair. You'll notice that that increases the stretch in the low back a little bit, and that's a good thing. So we're doing a little twist here. Nothing over the top, but just using that right foot as an anchor. And then let's let go of that and slowly walk the hands on over to the right foot and do the same thing. Really press the feet into the floor and then use that traction to sort of push back your seat into the seat of the chair. So this is where we want those rollers locked on an office chair. So good. Take a breath here. Let's slowly hand walk over to the left foot again. Same thing, big inhale. Press into the feet, sort of push yourself back into the chair. You're not really moving in the chair, you're just using the pressure in the feet to sort of push your sits bones back into the chair. Great job. Exhale. Let's inhale, walk it over. Other foot, big inhale. Press the feet in, exhale. Press back into that seat. Beautiful job. Walk it back over into the center. One hand on the knee, one hand on the other knee, and press yourself gently up. Pull the belly button with you up towards the spine as you come back into your seat. Wow, I feel taller already. Press into the chair and get nice and tall. Bring those shoulders down, lift the top of the head towards the spine. Beautiful job. All right, now we're really going to start to stretch out the hips and the bottom of the rest of the body. So bring the right foot sort of, so that it's right where it would be. So you've got a nice straight line in your thigh. And then we're going to take this left leg and help it up and cross the ankle on top of the right thigh. I want you to be careful about where you put this ankle. Make sure it's not too far forward on the knee. And if you need to use your pants or whatever, kind of pull it back a little bit so that it's parallel. One of the things we like to do in yoga is make sure that the joints are at 90-degree angles. So we don't want to pull this foot in too far so that we've made a smaller angle with the knee. What we're aiming for is like that 90-degree angle in the knee. Okay, so we've made a bit of a triangle here in our seat. A little itch. We're going to take that left hand and place it on top of the left knee. We're going to get nice and tall, as we've done several times in our practice. Press the sits bones down into the seat, and even just lifting the spine and pressing the top of the head up towards the ceiling, you may already start to feel some stretching in the hip. That's great. If this is where you'd like to stay, great spot. If there's a lot of sensation here, no worries, that's perfect, okay? The next thing you could do to take this a little bit further is to apply a little bit of pressure with that left hand onto the left knee. Take a breath. I bet you know where we're going. All right, we're going to keep a little bit of pressure on that left knee. We're going to inhale, get nice and tall, lengthen through the spine, top of the head towards the ceiling. And then we're going to hinge forward at the hips and just come forward. Great job. Pull the shoulders away from the earlobes. There's a tendency to get sort of stressed out here and tight. And engage those shoulder blades. Pull those shoulder blades so that your upper body stays nice and open, and you're pressing the top of that head away from the tailbone as much as you can. So there might be a lot of spicy sensation here, a lot going on, but we're just going to hang on with it. Unless it's feeling like, nope, this isn't right, something is a little too amiss here, then by all means, you've gone as far as you need to today. Otherwise, we're going to take a nice deep breath. Be gentle with yourself. Exhale. One more breath here. If you're here, stick with me as long as it's feeling good. Big inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale. Gently press yourself back up. Great work. All right, let's move that ankle a little bit. Some circles with the foot if you'd like in one direction, and some circles with the foot in the other direction. Excellent. Point and flex that foot, maybe wiggle the toes a little bit. And then if you'd like to do this next part, this is a lovely little self-care movement or moment. We're gonna bring some warmth in between the palms. So rub those palms together, and this is just about bringing some intention, some energy, some warmth to the palms, and then place them on your feet and do a little self-massage here. So using the thumbs to move into the arch of the foot, maybe just applying some pressure there around the heel, squeezing the heel. So if you're at the office, you might be able to take your shoes off and do this. And this is something great to do even if you just have a moment and you want to just take a moment in between meetings or clients or whatever you're in between emails, and spend a little bit of time around the ankle bone and come up to the top of the foot, offer some love in between the toes, top of the foot. We don't get that, don't give a lot of attention there very often. And then to the ball of the foot, really moving, ooh, yeah, cracking those toes, maybe squeezing each toe, pulling the toes apart a little bit, bending the toes forward, and then maybe pulling them back a little bit. And then any little spots that maybe are calling for some attention. Take your time. We got time. Great. All right, then letting that go. We're gonna replace that left foot, and of course, we're gonna go over to the right side. So this may take some efforting. Maybe you need to use your pant leg to pull this leg back up. And you might right away notice a little bit of difference from side to side, and that is totally normal and natural. Nothing to judge or feel bad about. Most of us have one side that's a little tighter and one side that's a little looser, one side that's maybe a little stronger, one side that's a little weaker. So this is totally normal. We tend to be handed, and which means we're also footed and legged and armed. So the funny thing is, oftentimes the side of your body that your handedness is, so if you're right-handed, you tend to have better balance on the other side, because if we're reaching with our right hand, we tend to plant our left leg to do that reach. And so we'll end up with a little bit better balance through the entire body on the opposite side. It's not 100%, but sometimes folks are very surprised to find that they have better stability on their not dominant side of their body. So here we are with this right leg up and crossed. We're making sure to take a moment that we're nice and comfy, that we don't have this pointy ankle on our bony knee, which cannot feel so good, but that we've got that nice 90-degree angle here. Now for me, this leg is a little bit higher up because I am indeed a little bit tighter on this side of my body. So that right hand is going to go onto the right knee. If we like, you're welcome to place your hands wherever feels most comfortable for you. But we're going to once again try and press into the seat and then lift the spine. Draw the top of the head towards the ceiling, nice and tall. Engage the shoulders. Open the chest. Great. And maybe just apply a little gentle pressure with that right hand and push that right knee down. See how that feels for you. Maybe engage the core a little bit. Pull the belly button back towards the spine. Beautiful job. Great. Just take a moment here. Take a breath. Now let's inhale if you're coming along with me. If you're going to go to the next step, if you're going to stay here, this is great. Lengthen the spine and pressing into the chair with our sits bones, we're going to bend forward. And again, this may feel very different than the other side. What we're going to do here is keep applying a little bit of pressure onto that bent knee and pull the shoulders away from the ears. There's a tendency to kind of do this, hike those shoulders up. We're going to press them down and then press the top of the head away from the body. Woo! That makes things a little spicier for sure. And let's take a few breaths here. Let the stretch do the work. If you have low back pain, it's very likely that some of this is coming from tight hips and tight hamstrings. So let's press into the hands, sit ourselves back up here for a moment. Whew. Let that stretch sort of settle. Bring the hands together. Create that nice warmth and heat. Pull some intention into those hands and then settle in for a little self-massage on that right foot. So starting, I like to start in the arch of the foot. You can do whatever you like. You can skip this part and say, that's enough for me. Or you can listen and go do exactly what I'm doing, which is pressing my thumbs into the arch of my feet. That just feels really nice. I'm coming up towards the inside of it and then out to the back side of my foot. Then I'm going to spend some time just sort of pressing the outer sides of my heel. I get some pain there, so that feels really good. Maybe even using a knuckle, and didn't do that on the other side, but a little bit of heel strikes feels good. And then I'm going to come up to the ball of my foot. Right underneath the larger pad at the top of the ball of my foot feels really good. The toes, I'm going to squeeze each toe, give them a little love, pull the toes apart. Maybe go in between each toe. Spend some time with that big toe. Then come around to the top of my foot, top of the toes. That feels really good. And then this top of the foot here in between where the toes come together. And then the ankle bone. Spend a little bit of time there. Got to give yourself permission to love on your feet. They are so important and they work so hard every day. Maybe just squeeze the foot and then some ankle circles in one direction and the other. Let that foot move around, maybe wiggle the toes, squeeze them, wiggle them around, and then reset that foot back down on the ground. Great. So we're gonna stretch the back of the legs a little bit. Hard to get too much going on while sitting in the chair, but I'm gonna move back a bit so you can see. We're going to extend the legs out. Come right to the edge of your chair and extend the legs out. And we're gonna activate the feet by pressing the heel away, okay? And getting nice and tall. Yeah, so hamstrings and calves. So the back of the legs can contribute a lot to low back pain. I'm going to use my arm rests here to sort of hold on, give myself some stability, and press those heels away. I'm activating my quads. I can feel them lifting the kneecaps away, and I'm staying nice and tall in my chair. Okay, I'm going to let the feet kind of go a little bit there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the left ankle and cross it on the top of the right ankle. I'm going to use my armrest. If you don't have armrest, reach down around the bottom of the chair maybe to give yourself a little stability, and make any adjustments so that you're comfortable. I'm coming right to the edge of the chair here, and I'm going to get nice and tall in my spine, and then I'm going to anchor myself and kind of come forward a little bit, and that really brings some stretch into the hamstring. Nice job. Activate those heels, press the heels away. Great, inhale here, lengthen. Exhale, fold a little bit more. Press the sits bones into the chair and then sit on back up. Great job, we're gonna switch. Whew. Yeah, I felt that. So low back pain and tight hamstrings are two peas in a pod. One thing really affects the other. So here we go. We've got this right leg on top now. Big inhale. I'm at the edge of the chair. I'm anchored in, so I'm either holding onto the bottom of the chair or the armrests, okay? And then I'm gonna just lean over a little bit so I feel that stretch in the hamstrings. Whoa. Pull the shoulders away. Again, tendency to kind of bunch up the shoulders near the earlobes. And press the top of the head away from the tailbone, lengthening that back of that spine as much as you can. One more breath here. I know, a lot of sensation. If you can. And then slowly press it back up. Wonderful. Okay, we're coming down to the end here, but one place that really gets neglected, where there's a lot of tightness that can, again, really affect that low back pain, is the tops of the thighs, the hip flexors. So where the body really kind of meets. And there's a fun way to do that nice stretch here in the chair. What we're going to do is turn to one side, okay? And this is much easier to do without the chair, without the armrests. So I'm thinking, no, I don't really have one of those chairs, and you might not have access to a chair without armrests. So I'm going to let the front leg come down, okay? So for me, this is my right leg is in the front, and my left leg is towards the back. Again, much easier to do if I could get my leg all the way over to the side, but I'm going to use the armrest to help me. Hopefully you maybe have a chair in the office or a chair at home that doesn't have the handrest, and you can move your leg all the way over. But what we want is we don't want to be falling off the chair, but we want this front leg, so for me, like I said, it's my right leg, to be at a 90-degree angle off the chair with the toes curled under. And what we're going to do, use the back of so I'm going to take my left arm and grab the back of the chair, and I'm going to let my right arm hang down next to my right leg. So if I have the armrest, but I want to use the back of the chair, and we're just going to lean back a little bit. Pull your belly button in to keep your back safe, okay? So engage here, and we're just stretching this hip flexor area here. Maybe a little lean back, pull the belly button in, and then come back forward. Bring that leg in. Let's turn the other way. Alrighty, so now I've got that left leg in front. Okay, I'm letting it go back so you can see 90 degrees, 90 degrees. I'm gonna let that left arm hang down. Right arm's holding on to the back of the chair. I'm gonna get nice and tall. Left toes are turned under, and I'm just gonna lean back a little bit. And I'm pulling my belly button in to protect my low back. What I'm looking for is the stretch right here. Take a breath. And then come on back. Nice job. Beautiful, beautiful work. So we have done a great job of stretching the lower half. After doing that hip flexor, putting a little bit of pressure on the low back, make sure you always use the core to protect the back. Let's come to the front of the chair a little bit with the legs out in front, 90-degree angle. Really plant those feet. Big inhale. Maybe toe heel the feet open a little bit so that you've got a place to come forward. Send those hips back and fold forward, nice and soft, nice and slow. Pull the belly button into the spine. Take a breath here. Let the head hang, let it pull you forward. And then bring a hand to the knee. Bring the other hand to the other knee. Pull the belly button in towards the spine. Press yourself up. Great. That's the end of chair yoga part 2. So put them both together, and that is a full body stretch from top to bottom. And you can do part 1, which is really everything on the first top of the body, and part 2 on the second half of the body. So I hope you found this useful. Remember to do everything the way your body is asking for it today. Don't push past pain. Pain is a message of safety, a message of unavailability for today. So you know the difference between a feeling of nice stretch and a feeling of, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Back away from anything that doesn't feel good. All of this is meant to enhance your sense of well-being, certainly not to make you feel more distressed or more stressed. So thank you for joining me for part 2, and I'll see you again for more gentle yoga.